what's up? I'm sponsored river surfer and stand-up paddle athlete Alex Maurer, and today I'm here to teach you guys all about river surfing. A lot of people ask me what river surfing is. River surfing is just that. It's the sport of surfing, either stationary waves or tidal bores on a river. For the sake of this DVD, I'm going to focus more on stationary waves. On this form of surfing, a surfer faces upriver to catch and surf a river wave. Because the water is moving so fast by the surfer is given the illusion that he's moving, although he's standing still. It's a really unique feeling. This sport can be fun and enjoyable for the whole family with the proper knowledge and by following proper safety guidelines. To get started in this sport, you're going to need to know river surfing skills, river safety, river environment, and river surfing equipment. I'm going to cover the following to give you guys a strong base so you can enjoy this fun and new sport. So this is a river wave. The wave is formed by the main current flowing downstream. It's flowing over a cement slab or a rock, and at the bottom of the cement slab or a rock is a sudden increase in river depth, causing a hydraulic, which forms the wave. The water flowing downstream is the main current. It flows through the wave and continues to move downstream. On the sides of the main current, you'll notice the water is coming back up towards the front of the wave. It continues to rotate like this, creating an eddy pool. You'll often hear people referring to an eddy line. The eddy line is the space between the main current and the eddy pool. Okay, now that you guys understand river dynamics and have a better understanding of how the river works, I'm going to give you some tips that I've used over the years river surfing. The first thing is if you're paddling onto the wave or you're surfing on the wave and you're about to fall, try to fall as flat as you can. The reason why you want to fall flat is because you don't know what's under the river surface and you don't know what you're going to land on.
You need to keep cold water. You don't need gotta keep your feet up. You don't need to keep pressure on.
When you guys are swimming in whitewater, I know it can be kind of scary, but focus on staying as relaxed as possible. So don't fight the current and try to swim upstream against the current. Swim downstream at an angle into the eddy, and that'll help you save energy and be more efficient. It's crucial to a safe and fun river surfing experience to always wear your safety gear. You never know when something's going to happen. You can't control how you're going to fall, where you're going to fall, or what you're going to fall on, so it's better to be safe than sorry. As a river surfer, you're now an ambassador for the sport. So set good examples and wear your safety gear. Two pieces of equipment that I would never surf without are a helmet and a PFD, or a personal flotation device. When you're in the shop looking for your PFD, it's important to try it on. Tighten all the buckles down and make sure it fits properly. The personal flotation device should end right above your belly button. Have somebody pull on these shoulder straps and make sure that the PFD doesn't rise above your chest. That's when you know you'll have a perfect fit. When you're shopping for your helmet, make sure you try it on and it fits comfortably. Wear it for a little bit and make sure it doesn't give you a headache. The two main things you should look for is make sure it doesn't rock back and forth too much, and make sure that this strap under here fits snug. The next piece of equipment you guys are going to be looking for is river shoes. This is going to protect your feet from unknown objects on the riverbed. Cool. I like to use wetsuit booties, especially when surfing. They're thin enough so you can still feel the board under your feet, but still provide some protection for whatever hazards lie on the riverbed. To stay protected from the elements, you're either going to want a wetsuit or a dry suit. So a wetsuit stays wet. It allows water in. The water that gets inside the wetsuit then warms up to your body temperature, keeping you warmer. If you're regular surfing or swimming a lot, it's better to go with the wetsuit because it's easier to swim in. So a dry suit is going to keep you dry. No water is going to get in the dry suit. You can layer underneath the dry suit appropriate for whatever water and weather conditions you're going to be surfing in. A dry suit's harder to swim in, so it's better to use a dry suit while you're stand-up paddling. At most river surf spots you won't need to wear a leash. Wearing a leash is probably one of the most dangerous things you can do in the river. The reason why wearing a leash is so dangerous is because if your board gets tangled up into something and your leash wraps around something, and you're being dragged underwater, there's no way to release yourself from the leash. The only way it's okay to wear a leash in the river is if it's attached to a quick release belt. A quick release belt looks like this. You can use a coiled leash or a straight leash. This end would attach to your board. The end that you would attach to your ankle usually goes inside the bag. The bag then goes around your waist. This red ball is the quick release. If you pull that, the whole leash is going to come undone. While you're surfing laying down, it might be uncomfortable to have that facing forward, so you can rotate the belt to get it out of your way. And if you are in a case or something, your board or your leash wraps into something and you're underwater and you can't get free, if you pull that quick release belt, it comes free. One of the main things you're going to need to start surfing is a surfboard or a stand-up paddleboard and a paddle. When you're looking for your new board at a shop, you can ask whoever's working in the shop which boards are going to work best for the waves that are near you. If you're at different wave locations, you can talk to the surfers there and they'll let you know which boards will work best for those waves as well. This is a surfboard. You have the deck of the surfboard, which is the top of the surfboard, the nose of the surfboard, which is the front of the surfboard, the tail of the surfboard, which is the back of the surfboard. At the tail end of the surfboard on the deck side, you're going to have a leash plug, and this is to attach your leash. The bottom side of the surfboard is called the hull side. On the hull side of the surfboard, at the tail end, you're going to have fin boxes, and then you can put your fins in the fin boxes. And then the rails of the surfboard. And the same goes for stand-up paddle boards. After you guys choose your board, if you're choosing a stand-up paddle board, you want to look for a paddle. The two things you're going to look for in a paddle are, obviously you're going to be using it in the river. So you're going to need to get a burly paddle, so look for the toughest paddle that they have. The second thing you're going to look for is the height of the paddle. For paddling flat water or racing, you usually use a little longer of a paddle. While you're surfing, you can get away with a shorter paddle. I'll do anything from eye height to a couple inches above my head. So how do you catch a river wave? Catching a river wave can be the most difficult part about river surfing. There are several different techniques you can use to catch a river wave. Each technique will vary from river surfing location to river surfing location, and depending on which board you choose to use. Dropping into a wave. This is a technique that you can use while you're regular surfing or stand-up paddle surfing. You're going to want to use this technique on waves where dropping in from the top of the wave is the easiest way to catch the wave. To do this, you're going to want to go upstream far enough to line yourself up with the pocket of the wave. You're going to paddle out to the middle of the river, line yourself up with the pocket, face upstream. You can do this prone or on a stand-up paddle board. If you're on a stand-up paddleboard, you can be prone as well. If you're prone, you want to put the paddle underneath your chest and paddle with the paddle underneath your chest. If you're on your knees, it'll be a little more stable. And if you prefer to stand up, you can do it that way as well. Face upstream, paddle as hard as you can, keeping yourself lined up with the pocket of the wave. Once you start dropping into the wave, continue to paddle until you feel the wave lift you up and hold you into the pocket of the wave. Once you're in the pocket of the wave, you're now free to stand up, or if you're already standing and you're stand-up paddling, you can throw a brace with your paddle just to make sure that you're stable. Jumping into a wave is a technique you should use on waves that allow you to enter the wave from right next to the wave. You can do this on a stand-up paddleboard, or you can do it on a regular surfboard. If you're on a regular surfboard, what you're going to do is you're going to stand facing upriver, you're going to jump onto your belly onto the wave, glide into the pocket. You can take a couple paddle strokes to make sure you hit the pocket. Once you feel yourself hit the pocket and you feel the wave lift you up and catch you, you can now stand up. On a stand-up paddleboard, what you're going to do is you're going to start from the eddy. You're going to paddle up towards the wave, building up enough speed to match the wave. You're going to cross the eddy line onto the wave. Once you cross onto the wave, you're going to take paddle strokes to straighten your board out. And then once you hit the pocket and you're stable, you can throw a brace to make sure you're stable. Then you can start surfing from there. To acid drop or skate onto the wave is probably one of the most difficult techniques. If you're on a regular surfboard, you're going to want to acid drop onto the wave. If you're on a stand-up paddleboard, it's easier to skate onto the wave just because the boards are bigger and heavier. If you're on a regular surfboard, to acid drop onto the wave, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the rail of the board with the deck side facing you. You can hold it with one or two hands. You're going to simultaneously drop the board onto the water, jump into the wave onto the board, and make sure that you hit the pocket. A good tip for this is keep your knees bent once you hit the board, and then don't have too much forward momentum, because if you have too much forward momentum, the board will shoot forward in front of the wave, and when you drop back to the pocket of the wave, the momentum coming backwards is going to flush you over the pocket, and you won't catch the wave. If you're on a bigger board or a stand-up paddle board, you can hold your paddle in one hand, place the board on the ground with the nose facing into the wave, put your back foot on the board, push forward and use your forward momentum to carry you into the wave, then place your front foot on the board. You can throw a brace with your paddle or stay really low. Once you hit the pocket of the wave, you can stable out and begin to surf. Hey, I hope this video has helped you guys out with your surfing journey. And remember, it doesn't matter what board you're on, whether it's a regular surfboard, a stand-up paddleboard, or a boogie board, as long as you guys are having fun on the river.
I've been searching cities high and low. Love was never lost, it just never showed. I've been searching cities high and low. Love was never lost, it just never showed.